One.
Straight up, Andrew.
Two.
Come on. Straight up, Andrew. That's it.
Good ball.
Come on. All over the Get up.
Get on your toes. Let's go.
You know that game plan, boys. Be ready for that. There you go. Done.
Stay your line. Deep.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of my podcast, Ask and Tell YP. Today, I have the honor of interviewing, I guess, dude, like this guy is probably one of the best outsides we've seen in a while at like any sort of Hmong tournament, Andrew Kim. And so for Andrew, I just want to start off with, I think people want to know where you're from, how tall are you, and then how old are you, bro?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Orange County, California, so a little Southern California. And the reason I'm playing with that Rhode Island team is actually the setter, Carlos. I played against him a lot in college and kind of knew him just playing college ball. So uh, he introduced me to this Rhode Island team, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'm totally down. I'm 24 years old, and there's another piece of information there, right? What other question?
Yeah, and just how tall you are.
Oh, I'm 6'3", and I'll probably say that. I don't. Um, you look at any NCAA men's roster. You take their listed height, take it down 1 or 2 inches, and that's their real height. So, I'll list myself at 6'3". I'm actually 6'3".
Yeah, and then if you don't mind, because obviously people are like, dude, this guy's not Hmong. What's your ethnicity?
Yeah, so I'm 100% Korean. It's kind of I can't get by with my last name Kim. It's pretty
She.
yeah. It's pretty common that once I tell people like if they already can't tell that I'm Korean by look, they're like, "Oh, what's your last name?" I'm like Kim. They're like, oh, "Okay, yeah, it's
Yeah, and then just going back into your background, so like what's your volleyball background as in like did you play high school? Any what level of college did you play? Where'd you play? Yeah.
yeah." So I started off playing volleyball my freshman year of high school, and so the way it worked in my high school is that you needed to either be in PE or do a sport. You could do one or the other. And I was playing basketball at the time. This actually marks the year where I've been playing volleyball, organized volleyball longer than I've been playing organized basketball.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so there I didn't have a sport to do in the spring, so I just chose volleyball because, all they do is jump. So in my mind, I was like, oh, I can get my vertical up for basketball. And then I actually started playing club volleyball and basketball at the same time my sophomore year, and then eventually quit basketball to pursue volleyball. To which I went to Vassar College in New York for
Mhm.
4 years, and I had the opportunity to play 2 more years of college volleyball because of COVID and how that worked in Division III. So after I got my undergrad degree, I just graduated with my master's at this place also in New York. It's called Hobart and William Smith Colleges, where I played for 2 years, and I'm done with college ball now. So I live in that adult life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice, nice. And then I just wanted to ask what your training schedule was like, I guess, when you were playing college ball, and then what it's like nowadays, now that like, you've stopped playing college ball like that.
Yeah, so when you're in college, it can vary, especially from program to program, and the strength of it. Don't let the divisions, don't let NCAA divisions or NAIA or JUCO fool you. I think men's volleyball is the one sport that D3 teams, NAIA teams, JUCO teams can even compete with D1 teams, and you don't really see that in any other sport.
Hmm.
Not, I'm going to be completely respectful of other sports, but I'm telling you, you put a D3 women's team against a D1's women against a D1 women's team for volleyball, that D3 team's getting washed. Maybe the national champion maybe the national championship of D3 could put up a fight, but I still would put my money that they're probably losing. Men's volleyball is a completely different story. Um, there's actually tons of D3s and NAIAs that play D1 schools and win consistently.
Hmm.
When I was at Vassar, we would scrimmage D1s. I know Springfield College does it, and a lot of NAIA schools like Vanguard. So I just want to the level the level between D3 and D1, don't let it fool you.
Hmm.
And when it comes to the training schedule, I would say it matters, especially on what team you're on, whether or not you're a good team, you're not as, or whether or not you may be quote unquote a bad team. But at Vassar, we would during season, if we're not playing a game, practice 5 times a week, and we had an interesting lift schedule because I really liked my coach's philosophy of the fact that like if you want to get better at volleyball and you want to seek playing time on the court, you will find the time to lift. So we didn't have mandated team lifts because all of our academic schedules were so crazy.
Hmm.
So, but there were set lift times that we can go to. Recommended during season to go 2 or 3 times, off season 3 or 4 times. So that's what I would do. But that philosophy of like, if you want to get better, if you want to play volleyball on the court, you should have the intrinsic motivation to improve yourself, improve your vertical, improve your strength, to then, improve your volleyball gameplay. So that's what it was like during college. Same thing at Hobart. In season, you're practicing 5 times a week if you're not playing. Uh, at Hobart, we had a little bit more athletic support, so we actually did have mandated team lifts and times.
Hmm.
Also, 2 to 3 times a week, depending on what the schedule was like. 3 to 4 times in the off season. But now that I'm retired college volleyball player, the opportunity for volleyball in my area especially is it's kind of dwindled. So it's not as present or as common. So honestly, it's like I play a tournament a weekend. It was J4. The
Hmm.
weekend before I was playing in a Korean only tournament. And then
Wow.
yeah, and then just this past week I was playing grass doubles, big tournaments. So I don't really get to practice during the week all that much, which I'm completely okay with because these tournaments actually kill me. So I would say tournament during the weekend, and if I try and lift at least 2 to 3 times a week, heavy because I'm not playing volleyball anymore.
Hmm.
So that's about what my
Okay.
schedule looks like outside of the collegiate realm.
Yeah, and then I know you mentioned like you were working out for your vert at one point. Do you mind telling us what your max vert is?
Yeah, so max touch I've ever touched was 11.9, 11.10. So
Yeah.
I got 8 foot reach.
Hmm.
That's about 48 inches. Do I do that consistently? Absolutely not. Like that's a once in a blue moon. I gotta be really fresh, really warm in a
Hmm.
nice like compact gym floor.
Hmm.
That definitely doesn't happen all the time, but 11, 10, 9.
Yeah, and then I know I just wanted to focus on your transition to like Hmong volleyball. So like how did you get introduced to like, Hmong volleyball?
Yeah, so kind of talked about it and my setter friend Carlos, who I
Hmm.
played against in college. He's actually Puerto Rican. We kind of joke around that he's Filipino because his last name's Mercado. And a lot of Filipino people have Spanish surnames. But
Hmm.
he messages me on Instagram and goes, "Do you want to play in an Asian tournament with me?" And in my head, I'm like, "What, Carlos? You're Puerto Rican. What are you talking about?"
Like you're not Asian.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
Yeah,
like, "What
yeah.
are you talking about? You want to play? Can you even play in the Asian tournament?" So
Yeah.
he sent me he sent me this sketchy Facebook link it wasn't to even like the Hmong International Freedom Festival. It was like some random Facebook invite to a tournament in Michigan. And I was like, Carlos, what is this? And is this legit?
Mm.
He goes, I promise it's legit. I didn't really believe him until he added me to the group chat where they like sent me a link to the actual Hmong International Freedom Festival website. Then I was like,
Mm.
okay, this is legit.
Yeah.
So that's how I got introduced.
Mm. Yeah, and for like going into that, so like you probably thought it was like a Facebook scam or something. You probably thought he got hacked or something. But,
I
but
didn't think he got hacked. I was just like, Carlos, I know you like playing volleyball a lot, but this doesn't seem real.
yeah, yeah. And so your first time coming was last year, right? Correct? 2024, correct?
Yeah, that
Your
was my
first
first
time.
year. Yeah.
Yeah, what was your reaction to like just like stepping into like the grounds of like, oh, this is a Hmong tournament, like seeing a bunch of Hmong people and like just like the festival and like like everyone setting up the canopies and like the teams. Like what you think about like first experience?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was eye-opening because
Mm.
I thought I had played every version of Asian volleyball there was to offer in America because
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
played my first nine-man nationals was in 2022. There's like this Korean Olympics that we play every year. That's on a much smaller scale because it's there's not too many Korean volleyball players, but I thought I was kind of tapped out in the Asian volleyball community, and I didn't know Hmong volleyball was a thing. It's actually crazy that it's been going on for so long and it's been so big. And what I really enjoyed about it was the actual festival part. It's not just volleyball. There's a community there. In
Hmm.
addition to other sports. And it was my first time trying like Hmong sausage and rice. And that spicy sauce will get you. Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah, dude, that probably got you,
I had it
huh?
again this year. Yeah. Um, it tastes so good, but you're just sweating while eating because it's also hot outside. Oh, wow.
Last year
That
was
was a
hot
huge
too,
one.
man. Yeah.
Yeah. Last year was super hot. And I I love playing all forms of volleyball. I always encourage people who can to try different forms of volleyball because you'll grow infinitely as a player. Like
Hmm.
um there's a couple rule changes coming from like NCAA indoor sixes to Hmong volleyball that you have to adapt to.
Hmm.
And I think I was able to just because I think my baseline as a volleyball player is pretty good. But again, like sometimes I forget I can't hand pass, and then you get called for a double.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the introduction of not just Hmong volleyball but Hmong culture itself, I loved J4, and to my understanding, it's the biggest celebration of Hmong culture year round.
Hmm.
So, what better way to celebrate than the biggest one?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
And then
Eh,
for my bad, but for Rhode Island specifically, did you guys like practice at all? Like, or were you guys just like, hey, when we get there, we'll just figure it out as we go?
Last year we practiced the day before and
okay.
was coming off a plane ride and they're like, "Oh, we're using an indoor ball for grass." I'm like, What? What are you talking about? We're using an in
Hmm.
so I was uh and they were like, "You can't hand pass at all." I was like, "Okay, that's fine. I can work on my platform passing." We practiced one time. I actually practiced really bad. So day one, they wouldn't let me play back row.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
No, yeah, I was coming off some jet lag. I was like, all right, fine. But then, Carlos actually, who's my friend and setter and great volleyball player, he goes to our team captain's like, you got to let this guy play back row. Like, I know he didn't have a great showing, but he was honestly just like, let this man cook. And
Yeah, you gotta
Hmm.
trust.
yeah,
Yeah. And so, like, what was your thoughts on like the team practice? Because I'm pretty sure you only knew Carlos, so like you're like, oh, like I don't know how you guys are as a team. How was that practice?
it was interesting because I think Hmong volleyball and just the people I was with, like their skill level is very high for Hmong volleyball. But
Hmm.
I think at some point, when you look back at the finals and it was us versus Fnatic or us versus Rush Hour,
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
um, it's getting to a point where it's just becoming a really physical game. And like with the skill sets involved, I think if you mess up a Hmong rule and it's side out scoring, you may or may not score a point, but that's just
Oh
1 point
wow.
out of the
Hmm.
15 you need.
Yeah.
But if you're really physical and you're really big, you can bomb jump serves, you have bigger blocks, and that creates a bigger like wall to score points if you're like not on the physical side, but you're just really skilled. Sometimes it's unfortunate. I think some like a world philosophy I have is like survival of the fittest.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'm 6'3" and I jump super high. There are some incredible Hmong athletes who probably jump as high as me, but they're 5'7", 5'8",
Mm-hmm.
and you can't really
Mhm.
help that. It's um there's there's no better way to frame it than to just say it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. And then just backtracking because I know you mentioned like you play in like other Asian tournaments. So um do you mind like just describing to us like are there any like differences in like Korean, like all only Korean tournaments compared to like maybe Hmong tournaments? Because I know with Hmongs like we use side out rules. Is for Korean, is it just like all international or do you guys have like maybe one or two rules that you guys throw in yourselves?
No rules with Korean volleyball, just or no rule changes. It's just indoor sixes, but the only rule is that so every other year, I would say the Korean Olympic throws like a festival
Mm-hmm.
on a smaller scale than the Hmong one.
Mm.
So that so it cycles every other year. Every odd year, your team has to be Korean. Every player on your team has to be at least a quarter Korean.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Um, and there's no getting past that. But every even year, your team has to. I mean, I don't think there's a rule that your team has to be Korean, but like it's kind of it's kind of like frowned upon if you just bring people like a lot of people who aren't like your team should be majority Korean, but
Mm.
they're
It's
not
like a
gonna
pride
win.
thing now. Like, okay, like, hey, we show up for our, like just us. Like, yeah.
Exactly.
Hmm.
So this past odd year, we were playing in Dallas. We were playing, it was LA versus Chicago. We were part of the LA team.
Mm-hmm.
People wanted us to win because, no discredit to Chicago, they were really good, but they had these two, two Korean guys who looked really white because they were only a quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Our team,
okay, yeah, yeah.
yeah, our team was 100% Korean, so people were like, they should win. And we did. So those are the only rule changes. I'm sure you've probably heard about nine man. I
Yeah.
think those rules are kind of decently similar to Hmong rules, but like there's some similarities, some differences.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And then yeah, just going back to your finals against Fanatics, because obviously like you guys broke out. Everyone's like, dude, Rhode Island's like the best team that we've seen in a while. I guess going into the tournament, were your expectations to make it to the finals that far? Or like did you like what sort of expectations did you have for the team in that 2024 year?
Yeah, so it was weird because the only person I knew was Carlos, and I
Mm-hmm.
knew he's a great volleyball player. But I didn't know whether or not we would make it that far just because Um, I mean, a whole different rule set, a whole like group of people I've never played volleyball with before. There are very few people I knew at J4 besides Carlos.
Mm-hmm.
I knew Jeremiah because he also played Division 3 volleyball. I knew his teammate Nathan Miller just because he also played D3 volleyball. But that was kind of virtually it. There
Mm-hmm.
weren't a lot of
Hmm.
familiar faces, so I was kind of testing the waters. But I think there was a beauty about that first team that like no one really expected us to do anything.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
yeah, so coming in as
Hmm.
underdogs, like I know what I'm capable of. Carlos knows what he's capable of, and
Mm-hmm.
what I'm capable of. I may not know what my team's capable of, but the fact that Carlos invited me to be on this team means that we're something special. But no one really expected it, so the expectations were kind of weren't there for us. So it was really nice to kind of just go into that tournament, play free volleyball. I would say the hardest volleyball to play is when you're really stressed out and um, there's a level of like urgency you can have, but there's also a level of like um psyching yourself out and you
Mm-hmm.
gotta meet that level of urgency that level of urgency has to be higher than like the psyching yourself out aspect. So
Mm.
we had that level of urgency. We didn't really have this because like you said, expectations were kind of down. No one really knew who we were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then for that finals, like, did you guys come up with some kind of game plan? Because obviously you knew that Nate Miller, they were like basically killing everyone with their, two non-Asian guys. Literally just beat the back to like 2022 champs, 2023 champs. Like, did you guys come up with some sort of game plan against Nate Miller?
Yeah, there's a video of Carlos's pregame speech, and I think it pretty much speaks for itself.
Hmm.
But kind of bullet point that speech, he said, Nate Miller, Ryan Mathers, they're gonna get their bounces in.
Yeah.
But the beauty of side out scoring is the fact that like if they bounce on a side out or like and they're siding out, it's not a point. In addition to they're the only two that had really been swinging or taking like multiple swings throughout the days. So, wear them out, get them tired. And
Hmm.
I think we were probably the biggest block they had also faced, so they weren't ready for
Yeah.
that.
Hmm.
And one last piece of that speech that really sticks to me philosophy wise. Um, at the end of it, Carlos said six is greater than two. I think our six volleyball players were better than their six volleyball players, and I think ultimately that's why we ended up with a win.
Hmm.
Hmm. Team. It's a team game.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then just transitioning to this year, um, were these same expectations set? Like, obviously, you guys weren't the underdogs anymore. I think people were like
Yeah.
predicting Rhode Island to come back. You guys did get back-to-back championships, but was the expectation to just keep winning? Obviously, you guys knew. I guess from like the bracket release, other teams might have been like, "Oh, this bracket A is stacked. Like, we don't know
Yeah,
who's
yeah.
gonna come out of it."
This the death bracket, like man, like
But
Yeah.
yeah, what were your expectations for 2025 for this past year?
I was expecting to win. Because our team we made some changes to our roster and it was even better than the previous year. But
mm,
we framed it in a way where like and want you can expect to win, but you have to want to win. So every game we went in, like it's a new game, score 0-0. You have to want this because no team's just going to hand it over to you. That's the one
mhm,
thing about Hmong volleyball is that since it's side out scoring, and I think Hmong people as a culture are very resilient. They're not just going to give up. They don't
Hmm.
care what the
mhm,
score is. So you have to go into that game and play like you want to win, and which we did. Even if the expectation was there, you can't just go into a game acting like you are going to win. You have to want it.
mhm.
Yeah. And then in particular with that finals game against Rush Hour, because clearly you guys were both top two teams there, but both from the same bracket. Um, you guys were down at one point, forced the third set. Was there like any sort of, I guess, like things that you guys switched around to, or hey, like we got to kick into the next gear to beat these guys? Because obviously they had that first set advantage, and then you guys had to win two in a row.
I I think there were two main things. They were serving incredibly in the first set. So to adjust, we had our wing passers kind of start on the line and move in if they needed to pass. It's a lot
Mm,
easier to pass a ball on the sideline if you start there as opposed to moving out towards it, because then the angle of your pass is kind of facing out towards the crowd. As
yeah.
opposed if you start there, you can angle it towards the setter. And if it's inside, then the angle's also already there.
Mhm.
Two, I think what helped us in our favor is that they were really, really tired.
Or gas out. You could tell.
They I don't know what their road to the finals were, but I remember watching them versus Gutta Boys.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm,
Gutta Boys coming back 14 what? 14-3, 14-4, something crazy. So
Mhm.
mhm,
just to extend that into a third set, they probably had another three-setter before that.
mhm.
Our
Yeah.
quarterfinals was in two, our semifinals was in two, so like we had played a lot less volleyball. So their endurance was great to get to that finals and to play another
Yeah.
three set.
Yeah.
But
That's
we were kind
that's
of
crazy.
we were kind of we were fresher. And I think that's what really I don't think we kicked into overdrive because we were playing a very steady game. I think they dipped just because, I mean, shit, they were playing a lot more volleyball that day than we had yet.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then was there like, I guess when you play Rush Hour, because this would be you guys played them in 24 and 2025. Were there players that you were like, oh, we got to watch out for him specifically on the other team?
Or was it like everyone that you had to watch out for? Or
Yeah, they're very skilled. I think they're kind of in the same boat that we are in the fact that like a lot of them are sixes indoor players. Um,
mm,
but I told Carlos, I was like, you know what? I think we kind of play the same game, but I think we're genuinely I think we're better. And that's not to sound
mm,
cocky, but like I said, whether or not you believe something is true, you have to not just act like it, but you have to want it. We played a very similar brand of volleyball, but I think wanting it plays a very key aspect in it. And you can quote me on this. You can clip this. We're never losing to Chicago. I haven't lost to Chicago yet. I don't think in prior I don't know last time Rhode Island lost to Chicago, but we're not doing it. There's a
mm.
little bit of pride in that game because we do play them a lot.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. You guys always match up. I think like even the 2023 year they lost too, and yeah, I remember because last year my brother and I were watching you guys last year, and you guys played them in pool play again too
Yeah,
last year,
that
and
wasn't a
yeah, and then this year too, and I was like, man, what the heck? They always play each other, and then like, Lord and behold, you guys played each other in the finals this year, but I was like, it's like what you said earlier. You guys try, no matter what the team is, you guys will always put your 100%. But I felt like for this like that game, like just like that finals game, I felt like you guys were pushed harder than the 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 finals last year. Like this finals was harder, like way harder. I felt like.
I would agree
Hmm.
because uh there there is a beauty in the final matchups. I think Fnatic, their game was very simple, but it was really good, right?
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
think
it works.
at the end of
Hmm.
the day, there are different volleyball philosophies and what you want to go off of. I think, Fnatic, very simple, but that's their game. They know what to do. Rush Hour, um, not as simple, very complex in the fact that like if it's a perfect pass, it can really go anywhere.
Hmm.
Hmm.
When they're out of system, they switch it up. They do deep lines, they do deep corners, they shoot. Sometimes they hit. And I think what I love about volleyball is that you can win in so many different ways. You can keep it simple. You can stick to what you know your team concept or culture is, or you can be complex in the way that you run your offense. And I think I might get clowned for this, but I think watching Haikyuu really encapsulates that. There's a lot of different teams in that anime that, have different team philosophies and how they do things.
Hmm.
Not to say one of them's better than the other, but there's so many different ways to play volleyball. Finding out which one works for you is, um, there's a path to it.
Yeah. And then two-part question. One, do you see Rhode Island repeating? And that will probably get clipped. And then two, which championship felt sweeter to you? Was it the first time you guys won or the second time?
Worth repeating. If uh if our team comes back, worth repeating.
Hmm.
And I'm trying to go professional overseas, so I'm not sure what that schedule looks like. But
Hmm.
if our whole team's able to come back, we're three-peating. Because I think our defense and our serve receive this year was a little bit worse than last year, and we still won. So I'm going in with full confidence that to say that we're three-peating, but also we can't just no every now that we're two-time champs, no team's gonna want to be like. Oh, they're the two-time champs. Like they're just gonna win. No, people are gonna bring it. Like I
Hmm.
said,
Hmm. Yeah.
Hmong volleyball is super resilient. People are gonna be extra fired up to play us. But I think that's a privilege that we have as a team is that we're gonna people are going to play their best ball against us, so we have to come even harder and play our best ball against them.
Hmm.
That was the first part of the question. So, what
Yeah.
was the second part? Sorry.
The second part was just which championship to you felt sweeter?
I think the first one probably was probably sweeter for the team because I know there are a lot of um, people who had been involved in the Hmong volleyball community for a while, and apparently that was the first time an East Coast team has won. But
Hmm.
I hadn't been part of the culture like that. It was my first tournament. It was really cool to win. Don't get me wrong, but like
Hmm.
to people like Jen and
Hmm.
Vince who have been in the community for so long, and Armand, and then Eric and Arturo who have been playing Hmong volleyball, but this not necessarily have won a J4.
Hmm.
That was probably sweeter to them, but I think the
Hmm.
second one was even better to me because um, I now met so many people. Um, s there was so much encouragement from teams and fans. I've it was extremely heartwarming and endearing to take so many pictures with people that wanted to take pictures with me. I think that one made it even sweeter.
Hmm.
And the fact that like people look up to me as a volleyball player, and if there's any advice I could give, like to anyone who asks, like that was that was a lot more sweet and endearing to me. But you know, both championships were cool to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just going off the like advice part, I know obviously you guys did play like a great team. You know, shout out to like that Young Buck team Invaders. They gave everyone like a good run in their bracket. They were super young. Do you have like any sort of advice for younger players who maybe want to play college ball or want to play ball at a higher level?
Yeah, I would say definitely get film of any kind. And measure the things that are important to volleyball players: spike touch, height, block touch. And there are a lot of schools that offer men's volleyball, and whether or not you like want to play at the highest level of like let's say Division 3,
Hmm.
it's a different story. But definitely get film, and definitely like record your attributes that are important to volleyball players. But to before that, if you want to play at a higher level, I would say if you're in a position that you are a better player to offer your services and your volleyball skills to a younger community who might be growing to let them play with you. There's no better teacher than playing. The way that I got better at playing volleyball, um, I wasn't very good. I was physically gifted. I had a vertical, but I couldn't pass, and my arm swing wasn't as developed. I credit. I would go down to the beach and play fours with uh like I played with some Persian. I played with Maruf, Persian national team setter.
Hmm.
I played with Persian national team, Cuban national team. Granted, they were retired, so you know they're in their 30s, their 40s.
Hmm.
They're not as physically gifted as they once were. Because if they were, they'd probably destroy me. But there's no better teacher than playing because granted there was a language barrier between us, but they let me play in. Um, just that stress of having to perform at a high level. Um, if you consistently can do that to yourself and rise above, you'll become that much better of a player. I really credit playing beach fours to my development as a player because granted there was nothing on the line. It was just, you know, it was just volleyball. But
Hmm.
to me there was so much on the line because I wanted to get better and I wanted to keep playing with these people. The first time I played with them, I played like crap. They didn't let me play with them for like another month, just because I played
Dang.
so bad. And they were like, "Oh, we don't want to play with this guy." But they finally gave me another opportunity, and you know, um, as much as it sounds like it's pressure, like it is pressure, but if you could rise above the occasion and play under that pressure, you'll hone your skills as a volleyball player. And
Mm.
it's not just pressure at any level. You need to be playing. If you're the worst volleyball player on the court, you're in the right spot to get better at volleyball. Um, I was definitely the worst player on the court at the time, so if you're able to be in a situation where you're playing with better people, you need to play with better people. I think I saw another person who's popular in the Hmong volleyball community, Brendan O'Neill. He kind of
Hmm.
talked about this. He mentioned the fact that like if you're a teenager, stop playing like 18U, 16U,
Hmm.
unless that's your actual level. But if you want to get better, you got to start playing open. You got to start playing with the big boys because that's where you'll truly get better.
Hmm.
Uh, and I 100% agree with him in that statement that like if you want to get better at volleyball, you need to play against better people.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just going off that, I know you've obviously had some tough matchups so far in the Hmong community. Sports is very opinionated, so I wanted your opinion on what you thought was like the toughest matchup that you've had at J4. Not Rhode Island as a team, but like just you, like which game was the toughest for you?
Hmm. And is there a player too, by the way? Any player that stood out to you that was like, dang, this guy's good. Like,
I'll give some love to the Hmong team that I actually played. We played A team last year.
oh, that was a
Um,
good game. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know what their outside names are, but they're raw. They're very
Yeah.
good. And
Yeah.
I
Yu
think
Ping and Marcus. Yeah, they're good. Shout out to
Marcus,
them.
if they could
Yeah.
develop a jump serve, I think that A team could be to a whole nother level. But beyond that, um, honestly, I want to. There's no opposite who can block me, and I'll stand by that.
Clip that too.
Yeah, I'm gonna clip that.
There's, but it's all love in the Hmong community.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I think
for sure.
uh toughest matchups. I don't know. I want to play Gutta Boys. I really do. But
Yeah,
we
yeah,
never matched up with them yet.
that'll be a good one too.
Yeah, I think. hmm, any I would say like our toughest games day one are probably our toughest matchups. I forgot who it was in 2024, but TC Rejects. It's like we know like it's day one. We know we don't have to win to keep going.
Hmm.
But it's better for seating. Also, I uh I call myself a day two Advil player. I don't take Advil until day two. So
Oh,
any
okay.
any soreness or pain from my any soreness or pain in my legs or my shoulder,
Mhm.
I have to play with day one. So I'm not playing at the highest level I can. And that TC Rejects team was they're probably the fieriest team we played against this year. So
Hmm.
I would say they were a great matchup.
Yeah, I think everyone was like, dude, they like took a set away from Rhode Island. And I was like, I remember watching too. I was like, damn, that's kind of crazy because
Yeah, that's crazy. In my head,
um
I was saying too, like I was like, dude, they like from last year to now, like you guys never win a game three if anyone. So I was like, whoa, like rejects, like okay, like this is crazy. And then next, Rush Hour took like win a three if y'all. I was like, okay, like dang, like a lot more competitive this time around. Now, of
Yeah,
course, like every game was competitive, but I was like, oh man, like this is like a whole nother level now. Yeah.
absolutely.
Hmm.
yeah. And then I just wanted to ask, in case people were wondering, what's your game day like prep looking like? Are you try like as in like stretching, how long it takes you to stretch that, hitting lines, like what's your game day like plan?
The older that I get, the longer I need to warm up. So I would say when I was 18, I could hop on the court no problem and just start playing. But now it's like I have two resistance bands, one's for my legs, one for my shoulder. I would say I warm up my shoulder with the resistance band for about 10, 15 minutes, and then with the band and just warming up legs through dynamic stretching, probably another 15, 20.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And then, pepper arm warm up with the volleyball, 5, 10, hitting lines, however long the referees give us.
Yeah, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
probably what, like 45, 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Um, and when you're young, you don't I would say start learning those habits when you're young, just because when you're older, you don't want to do them, but you'll definitely feel the effects if you don't warm up.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I would say that's like my game day preparation. In addition to I would say like in game preparation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anyone caught this, but when I was serving, keeping the same routine is super important. So I spin the ball 3 times.
See the way you hold it, yeah.
I give it a
I
nice
see
hit.
that.
Um, and I tell myself something before I serve every time. And you
Mm.
never want to tell yourself something that's negative, like, oh, I have to get this ball in, or oh, don't hit tape. You don't want to tell yourself negative things before you're going back to serve. So telling yourself positive things like, I'm going to hit the shit out of this ball or jump high.
Mm-hmm.
Um, to myself, I actually say the same thing I say the same thing before every serve. I take the ball to my face and I just say fly and then I do my toss and that kind of resets you to a place where you're saying something positive to yourself before you're serving as opposed to bring yourself down or like oh no I have to get this ball in like no you if you want your if you want your best serve you got to say something positive and stick to a routine.
This is the most high Q thing I've seen yet. No, I like this. Yeah. Wait, okay,
Stuff
so
like
let's
that.
let's go back on the college though. So you played 4 years in California, right? Like the D3 school, if I remember correctly,
No. I
or
played
was it?
6 years I played 6 years in New York. So
Okay,
Vassar's in New York and then I transferred to Hobart, which is also in New York.
yeah, because I remember you posted it's like the most kills in Division 3 volleyball, right? Or was it something like that, or you reached like 1,000 kills or something, right? I
Yeah,
remember there was something like that.
I did both. I have the most for Division 3. I have the most career volleyball kills.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm like that. Like, why are we not
Wow.
talking about that? Like, that's crazy. Like,
Dude,
like that. Like,
you're
you say it so
goaded.
nonchalant. Yeah, you say it so nonchalant. Like, yeah, I got the most kills in D3 history. It's like, what? Like, dude, you know how many D3 athletes there are? Like, and like, yo, that's crazy though.
I don't like flexing it. It's it's just is what it
Mhm.
is.
Yeah. Uh, Going off that, I don't think I asked because I know with Jeremiah I asked like how the recruiting process went. So for you, did you get like a lot of offers, and you just chose to go to New York, or were there like only a few options for you? Like, what was it looking like for you?
Yeah, so if you want to stay on the West Coast to play volleyball, your options are like D1, like UCLA, Stanford, or
Hmm.
like Long Beach or NAIA. Um, I don't want to I like when I coming out of high school, I discredited NAIA volleyball because it wasn't NCAA.
Hmm.
Now
Mm.
NAIA is legit. I would
Yeah.
those top 10, 15 NAIA teams could give it.
Hmm.
V, who's on Gutta Boys, he played at Vanguard,
Hmm.
or I think they're D2 now, but they were NAIA. But he's a disgusting athlete, and if you want to tell me that he's not as good of a volleyball player because he plays NAIA, then a random middle blocker in D3, like you're totally wrong. That
Hmm.
guy's legit.
Yeah.
Um, but coming out of high school, I didn't have very many offers. The volleyball player you see today is not the volleyball player that once was. I'll say that. But
Hmm.
I looked up. I wanted to go to a good school, so I looked at like top D3 academic schools with men's volleyball, and so it was Vassar, it was NYU, it was MIT. I couldn't get into MIT, so
Mm.
yeah. So recruiting wise, like coaches are not going to come find you unless you're one of the top recruits. No coach ever came up to me. You have to put your name. You have to going back to like the film
Hmm.
and the stats, not just volleyball wise. I forgot to mention this, the academic piece, whether or not you take test scores, your GPA, send all that to a coach and your film. They're not going to come to you. You have to come to them. Very few people will get the like the fame and the opportunity for coaches to come up to them, and those are usually the D1 recruits. But when it comes to just Division 3, D2, NAIA, you have to put yourself in the game and be your own advocate because no one else is going to do it for you.
Okay. And then I just have a couple of questions before, we take up too much of your time. One of them was just, can we expect to see you at, I know you wanted to play overseas, but could we expect to see you at more Hmong tournaments if, if possible, like outside of J4 maybe?
Yeah. Last year I really couldn't because I was playing college volleyball and I didn't want to hurt myself.
Hmm.
I still don't, but uh, now that I'm adult, I can play. I can play in the middle of November. I can play whenever I want. So I know Rhode Island's planning to go to Georgia, Atlanta, and North Carolina, and
Hmm.
I think they're also going to host a Rhode Island Hmong New Year's, which I'll go to.
Hmm.
Primarily East Coast. Midwest is a
Eh,
little difficult to get flights. One and two, they're very expensive.
Hmm.
So
mm.
I will be playing in other Hmong tournaments. Yeah, period.
Yeah, nice. And then I wanted to get your opinion. It was just like a fun, uh, I guess, like question I had. Would you rather get the game-winning spike or the game-winning block?
You did that. You did both. I ain't gonna lie. You
Because like,
did
yeah,
both.
which one would you
So
rather?
yeah, which one felt good?
I would say I would say block.
Hmm.
Um, they're different. They're different level. If it's a stuff block, I would say stuff block over spike. But if the
Hmm.
spike is like if it's a soft block and it just lands in the corner versus like a
Yeah,
swing
yeah.
a swing that doesn't hit the block and just hits the ground, I would say the spike. But for the most part,
Mhm.
I would say block.
Like a nasty straight down block. Yeah.
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 Okay. Well, that's it for my questions. Casey, did you have any more questions for Andrew?
Yeah. For just like when you played like at the Hmong tournaments, did it feel like different or like like because when you played against like the like just like us Hmong people and stuff like was there like a different feeling like oh like for example like when you played A team right they're from California right like
Yeah.
did you feel like oh wow like they played different from like the teams that I played before like well, like was there like a different sense of like game that you got from them and like other teams?
Different from other Hmong teams or just like
Yeah, like other Hmong teams and stuff like that. Like when you come to like over here to J4.
yeah. The A team plays a very solid brand of volleyball. A lot of Hmong teams play a solid brand of volleyball. I've never seen someone take my jump serve like this. This is insane. And the fact that they
Yeah,
can
yeah,
do it
yeah,
and get a perfect pass is even crazier to me.
Hmm.
So things like this. This is crazy how they can get a perfect pass off this.
yeah.
I'm gonna try this. Um, but there's a level of respect to it because I come into this tournament obviously as an outsider but still Asian. So I think there's an experience there that is similar in the fact that we're all Asian, so we all have similar experiences in America and the way it's treated us, whether positively or negatively. But there's a different respect to it because there's so many Asian people in the world. I get offended if someone uh calls me like Chinese or Japanese. No, like nah, I'm Korean, and I'm pretty sure it's probably the same for you guys.
Hmm.
It's like,
Mhm.
oh, you're not Chinese? Like, no, we're Hmong. Like, and they're probably like, what is that?
Hmm.
So there's a level of respect to it when you approach the game, and it's not to say that we'll lie on our backs and let you win because it's your game because obviously we haven't done that the past 2 years, obviously, but um, the level of respect that we have for the game and the opponents against us, um, that that means we're playing our best brand of volleyball that we can under your rule set. And I think we've exemplified that these past 2 years.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then from winning first place, because obviously like the pot is huge. Did you guys split it per person or was it just for the team for travels or like how much did you end up getting? Like did you guys split it at all or was it just for the team?
Oh yeah, that's what I want to know too. How much y'all got from that big pot, man?
Uh, to my knowledge, we split it per person.
Mm.
It takes a village to run a team. I know it's very flashy. What I do, what the people who are on the court do. But it takes a village.
Hmm.
We wouldn't be anywhere without the support system of people on our team and outside of our team.
Hmm.
Mm.
Um, shout out Turo, shout out Eric. they're kind of the captains and they run our team, and they make sure whether or not they're actually playing, they make sure that our team is well accounted for. All I have to worry about when I go into J4 is getting my flight there.
Hmm.
Um, very gracious enough to pick me up from the airport, drive me to the Airbnb, drive me to the playing site. I don't have to worry about anything else but playing. So it takes a village, and it takes a very um genuine, charismatic, non-egotistical person or group of people to be like, look, I may not be playing volleyball, but I'm going to do everything to make sure that this team wins, whether it's being hype on the bench, um, whether it is playing, whether, whatever the role may be, like we're all bringing our best to, have the best J4 weekend that we can. Um,
Hmm.
Mhm.
in addition to all the girlfriends and wives of the people on the team, like they're the loudest bunch of supporters that we have. And we couldn't do it without them either, because I know um they annoy the crap out of other teams, which makes them play worse, which
Mm.
makes us play better. So that everything, the village, the players, the support system, it's all important. You can't do it without the village.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I think that might be it. So I appreciate your time.
Of
Obviously,
course.
like KC got in contact with you. He's like, "Hey, did you think what do you think about like getting the Rhode Island outside here?" And I was like, "Dude, like is that possible?" I didn't even know if that was possible. So,
Yeah.
dude, I love it. I'm definitely gonna get in, your socials after just so I can keep tagging you and stuff. And then
Yeah.
what I normally do is I compile like people's best hits. So I'm definitely clipping most of your J4 hits. I'm just gonna make a montage video of it, and then yeah, I mean, to those who do watch this after, continue to support Rhode Island. Hopefully, they come back next year. Get your jerseys with Andrew's last name or Kimchi on the
Yeah.
back of
Yeah.
it, and
Go,
then
go support the
go
Rhode Island
go get it
fundraisers and stuff.
signed too
Yeah.
next year for
Yeah.
J4.
Mhm.
But yeah, Andrew, thank you so much for your time, man.
Wait. Hey,
Uh,
Andrew,
Oh,
if you could nominate one person to be on the next podcast, who would you want?
who have you had already?
so I've had Tree in them, like the Rush Hour guys, had them on
Yeah.
here. I've
Red
had Brendan
Brendan,
O'Neill, um,
Jeremiah.
Jeremiah. I've had Marcus, the outside from A Team, on here. Had a couple of the Rejects guys on here too. They're weak side and they're middle now. But
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, I don't know what your knowledge of the Hmong volleyball game. It could be even like American players because I've had like I don't know how much you keep up with like VLA, but I've had like Travis here, Travis Hudson. So
Hmm.
yeah,
I would get a Hmong OG on here.
Hmong OG.
Mm,
Okay.
okay.
Get someone who's still playing, maybe not in their prime, but like, get one of those. Get their story, because from when I look at Facebook, Facebook, social media is social media. People will make up stuff, but it sounds like the event used to be bigger or better.
Hmm.
And kind of just want to get the old heads take. I don't know. Maybe it has, maybe it hasn't. I feel like it's
Hmm.
kind of like the NBA, where like I think the
Hmm.
product in the NBA is so perfect that it sucks to watch. I think that's why like March Madness college basketball is like fun and like easy to watch.
Exciting. Yeah.
It's because people suck. They don't actually suck, but like they're worse in comparison to like the perfect product, which is the NBA.
Hmm.
Everyone can
Hmm.
shoot threes now. Everyone can dribble. Everyone can score. Um, and I think that while it's like better for the players, like it's a perfect game. There's not as much hype because like everyone's gonna do everything right. And it kind of feeds into like this gratification that we have as a society, like, um, but there is a beauty in like the grind, the griminess of what basketball or volleyball you used to have been, from what I can tell. So I would say
Hmm.
like get a
Yeah.
Hmong OG, see if their story matches up with what I'm thinking.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dang, I gotta hit up Vince then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where'd you
Oh my
get Vince
gosh. Yeah.
in?
Hit up Vince
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Janet. I don't know.
Mhm.
Vince or Jan would be probably good. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I know like people I think people are clipping Vince when he saved that one ball.
Oh,
Like
his
it
face
was
was
going
hilarious.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
it might be cool to get him on here, you know.
Yeah,
But
he's an OG for sure.
yeah, I'm just gonna end the recording and then we should be